In a powerful and bold statement, Megyn Kelly has accused the WNBA of letting one of its brightest stars, Caitlin Clark, suffer abuse on and off the court. But is it just tough basketball, or is there something much darker happening behind the scenes today? We'll dive into Kelly's shocking claims and uncover the truth about Clark's rise to stardom and the backlash she's facing. Let's break it down and explore exactly what's going on. Megyn Kelly's bombshell accusations. Did you catch what Megyn Kelly just said about Caitlin Clark? Yeah, you know her. She just dropped some serious truth bombs on the WNBA that have everyone talking. Kelly went full force, calling out how the league has been treating Clark like she's the villain, and you know, when Kelly speaks, people listen. She didn't hold back. Kelly said that the way Caitlin Clark has been treated is nothing short of abuse, both on and off the court, from aggressive fouls that never get called to the bizarre way the media and the WNBA seem to be handling her meteoric rise. Kelly isn't having it. She's basically telling the league to wake up, because it's clear that something's not right. If you missed it, Kelly's whole spiel about Clark's treatment is lighting up the basketball world. She's calling out the WNBA for what she sees as a massive failure to protect one of their brightest stars. Clark has been pushing the sport into the mainstream, but somehow it's her who's getting beat up on the court and in the media. Kelly even said what's happening to Clark is just that bad, and trust me when Megyn Kelly says something like that, people pay attention. Clark's rise in the backlash. Caitlin Clark has been on fire, right? Her rise in the WNBA has been a total game changer. The kind of attention she's getting, absolutely unprecedented. I mean, we're talking about viewership numbers that rival NBA games, and that's no small feat. The WNBA is seeing ratings that haven't been this high in over a decade, all because of one person, Caitlin Clark. But here's the thing, this success isn't exactly being celebrated by everyone. Kelly pointed out that there's some serious tension behind the scenes because Caitlin Clark is white and she's dominating the spotlight. In a league where about 70% of the players are black, some people are just not happy about it. There's a sense of resentment, with some players feeling overshadowed by Clark's rise. Kelly brings up the uncomfortable truth that there's some racial tension bubbling underneath the surface of this whole situation. The truth is, as much as people love watching Clark ball out, there are those who see her as taking too much of the spotlight, and according to Kelly, that's creating real issues within the league. But even with the resentment, Clark continues to do what she does best, dominate on the court. Her influence on the sport is undeniable, and it's not just because of her skill. She's reshaping the entire WNBA, bringing a level of mainstream attention the league has never seen before. It's hard to deny that she's changing the game. Abuse on the court. Now let's talk about what's been going down on the court, because it's really gotten out of hand. According to Kelly, it's not just about tough defense anymore. Caitlin Clark is literally facing abuse every time she steps onto the court. Kelly is calling out the WNBA for letting it happen. We've seen it before, right? Some tough fouls, some hard hits, but with Clark it's different. Kelly went so far as to say that the league is allowing this abuse to continue unchecked. And it's not just the occasional elbow or hard foul. We're talking about blatant plays that should have been fouls, but for some reason the refs just look the other way. Take that black eye incident during a game against the Connecticut Sun. It wasn't some random accident, it was a deliberate move by Dune Carrington, who scratched Clark's eye with her fingernails. You might think, okay, but maybe it wasn't on purpose, but trust me, the evidence doesn't lie. Carrington tried to claim she didn't even know she hit Clark, but come on, how do you not know to scratching someone's eye? It was one of those moments that made you scratch your head and think, how is that not getting called? But nothing happened, no foul, no penalty, nothing. Kelly's point, this kind of stuff shouldn't be happening, especially not to one of the league's brightest stars. Clark should be getting protected, but instead she's being abused by players and the league's just letting it slide. And it's not just one incident. This kind of rough treatment has been happening to Clark all season. Caitlin Clark's treatment versus other players. Why is Caitlin Clark being treated this way? It's more than just tough basketball. Kelly believes there's something deeper going on here. Clark isn't just facing the usual physicality that comes with playing a high-intensity sport. She's being intentionally targeted, and this isn't just in the form of hard defense. This is players trying to take her out of the game. She's been knocked around in ways that go beyond what you'd expect in a regular basketball game. There are deliberate collisions during inbound passes, elbows flying from every direction. And let's not forget the trips that seem to happen right under the ref's nose, and yet none of this gets penalized. So why is Clark getting singled out like this? Is it because she's a star? Probably, but Kelly also points to a bigger issue that has been simmering under the surface race. There's a sense that some players don't like that Clark, who happens to be white, is getting so much attention in a league where most players are black. This dynamic is adding fuel to the fire, making Clark's treatment even worse. Megyn Kelly's bold stance on race and gender. Kelly didn't just point out that Clark's treatment is messed up, she also tackled the issue of race head on. She made it clear that racial dynamics are playing a big role in how Clark is being treated in the WNBA, with most of the players in the league being black. Kelly argues that some people are resenting Clark's rise because she's white and taking center stage. Now some of you might be thinking, why does race even matter? But Kelly's not just pulling this out of nowhere, she's seeing something that's been hard to ignore. Historically, white players have gotten a lot of attention in basketball, and some people feel like Clark's rise is just another example of that dynamic at play. The real issue, however, is that Caitlin Clark's race shouldn't matter. What matters is her incredible talent and the way she's changing the game for everyone regardless of skin color. But we can't ignore the uncomfortable truth that race is playing a role in how some people view her, and Kelly's not afraid to call that out. Kelly's challenge to the WNBA. Kelly doesn't just stop at calling out the treatment of Clark, she's throwing down the gauntlet for the WNBA, demanding that the league take accountability for letting this abuse happen. It's one thing to have a rough game, but it's another thing entirely when that rough play turns into something more malicious and nothing is done about it. Kelly's not just criticizing the refs or the players who are targeting Clark, she's also calling out the WNBA for its role in all this. By allowing this kind of treatment to continue unchecked, the league is failing to protect its star players. Kelly's basically saying, if you don't fix this, the future of the WNBA is in danger. And honestly, she's got a point. The WNBA has a huge opportunity with stars like Caitlin Clark, but if they don't start protecting these players, the whole league could be in trouble. Clark's response and poise. Even with all the abuse and backlash, Caitlin Clark has handled it with class. She's kept her head down, focused on the game, and never pointed fingers at anyone. It's honestly pretty remarkable how she's managed to stay so composed despite everything that's going on. Clark could easily lash out, point the finger, and make a big deal out of the abuse she's facing, but she doesn't. She stays focused on the court, continues to dominate, and lets her game do the talking, and that's part of what makes her such an incredible role model. She's not just about scoring points, she's about leading by example. Clear that Caitlin Clark isn't going to let anyone get in her way. She's proving that no matter how tough the competition is, she's not going anywhere. WNBA ratings and viewership. If there's one thing that Caitlin Clark has made clear, is that she's a ratings machine. The WNBA is experiencing a surge in viewership, and it's all because of her. In fact, the ratings are the highest they've been in more than 10 years. The league is pulling in numbers that are actually comparable to NBA games, which is a huge deal for women's basketball. This kind of viewership is unheard of for the WNBA. But it's not just because the games are more exciting or the competition is tougher. It's because Caitlin Clark has captured the attention of mainstream audiences. She's bringing basketball fans who wouldn't normally watch the WNBA, and that's something the league has been trying to do for years. Clark's ability to draw in fans is one of the biggest reasons for her success. The fact that her games are drawing in so many viewers means that her influence is already spreading far beyond just basketball fans. She's got the power to reshape the league, and the WNBA knows it. Do you think the WNBA is doing enough to protect stars like Caitlin Clark, or is there more going on behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And that's it for today. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Stay tuned for more, and catch you next time.